Well, Carl and Rhonda, we definitely want to thank you for being here today. You both were participants in our last cohort of the Female Mentoring Program, and we just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the program, get your take on the program, and really just share your story with some folks who may be considering participation in future years. I do know that Rhonda was the protege to Major Ben Ross last year, and just kind of tell us a little bit about that experience.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Well, for me, I was asked about the program by your partner, Miss Esther, would I participate? And I told her, well, I hemmed around about it for a little bit, and finally said, yeah, sure, why not? When we got to, I believe we did it at the academy, correct? And I got a chance to meet Rhonda. We were paired up. We went through that day's training, and in between the little breaks, her and I just kind of talked a little bit and whatnot, and we found that we had pretty much the same amount of time in the system, just different positions. And that alone, just meeting her in that program was, for me, a plus, because I got to see somebody. I never worked with anybody from a woman's prison before, worked with females for years, but meeting her and her unique aspect of prison from the female side, it was good, and it just took off from there.
Rhonda?
Like Carl said, we met, and it seemed like we hit it off right away. We was able to talk, get to know each other, and I'd never worked at a male institution, so I had him to look up to as far as working with the men and what that was like, because I'd always done my whole career at ORW for working with the women, so it was totally different. And he was a major, I was a lieutenant, so he had a lot of insight, and he had done more stuff than what I had. So, it was a good pairing right off the rip, I think.
Okay.
After about 2 weeks into it, we met up. In fact, she came to Allen for a tour, and she saw how we interacted with each other. And she said, you know what, this would be a good place to work. But she wasn't realizing that I was watching her to see how she was interacting with my staff, and I decided right then and there she'd be a good fit here.
I think that was probably right around when I kept saying, oh, you'll be my boss one day.
Yeah.
And I was just teasing him, like I was meaning that he was going to move up and be like a deputy warden. He was going to be my boss one day. And then, so I kept calling him boss, like, hey, boss. And when I would send him emails, I'd be like, hey, boss, how's it going? And that kind of thing. So it kind of makes me feel good, though, that he was looking at me, because sometimes you don't believe that in yourself, or you don't know that you're actually putting off that kind of a vibe about yourself. So it's kind of nice to know that somebody actually does pay attention and they look. So.
And she still calls me boss. I remember when the question was asked, what would we do as mentors, whether we were male or female, how would we support the program? And it was instant to me that this is not a gender thing. This is all about creating this environment where we are equals in this, and working with incarcerated people, and how to bridge those gaps. And at that time, it's like, this is not about being woman friendly. This is just about being a mentor to somebody that just happens to be a woman. And it was an eye-opener for me. Our female retention rates in the department, I think, sometimes suffers. We get young ladies into the department, and the academy can teach, and I'm not trying to disparage the academy at all, it can give us the fundamentals of how to be an officer. But there's not really anything there to prepare young men going into a women's prison what they can expect, and young ladies going into a male prison what they can expect. I think a program like this can help the young ladies understand you're getting ready to step into an environment that is unlike anything you will ever experience. Military, private, public sector, all of that. You have to develop the skills and have the self-worth to realize there are people out here in these institutions that will do you harm. And I don't mean physical harm. They'll try to draw you into their world. They cause you to destroy your world outside this fence. If programs like this continue, young ladies can hear from older guys like myself and females like Rhonda. These are the things you need to prepare yourself for. Just from learning, just from being in this environment, in this program, there's so many things that you guys can do some incredible things for them. And I hope that continues. I hope that people that participate in this see that vision and say, this is what I can do to help. And the guy or the people who become mentors give all that know-how, that skill. The people who are the mentees, listen to what they're telling you, because they're not telling you to fill your head with a bunch of noise. Mm-hmm. They're giving you what you need to survive in this environment. And if that can happen, I think the retention rates, the staff retention will skyrocket, especially for the young ladies coming into this.
And it's nice to have somebody that hasn't worked with you your whole career give you feedback, because it's a different set of eyes. And sometimes when you hear the same feedback, or you have a lot of people that have the same opinion, when you have an outsider that doesn't work with you every day, give you feedback and it's positive, or they see something in you and they're trying to push you forward and make you believe more in yourself, it's a great feeling, and that's what I got from this. And it actually gave me the courage to step out of where I was at and even apply to another facility. I believe I've grown. I don't think I've seen myself completely different, but I do think that I've changed for the better. I do think that I believe I was in a rut where I was at, and I believe this program kind of gave me a new life within myself, and I want to start doing different things, and I think I have more goals now because of that.
This is somebody who is telling me, I trust you to help me get to where I need to be. And when you talk to me, I'm listening. I'm not just looking at you saying, okay, okay, okay. When you tell me go left, I'm going to go left because I trust what you're telling me. And I found what that did for me was whatever I tell Rhonda, it better be something that she can rely on because she trusts me.
Carl maintains a very professional appearance and attitude, and it's something that you want to emulate it. You want to mirror yourself after him as far as how he interacts with his staff. You also want to have that same relationship with your staff. I know at any time I can go to him, and I try to make my staff feel the same way. Like, I want them to be able to come to me like I feel I can go to him.
I felt I was in a position to help the rebuilding of Allen. So if I'm going to rebuild Allen, let me develop some tools or get some tools from my toolbox that's going to help me do that. Rhonda was one of those tools. So I went as her advocate. Her application was looked at, and they said, absolutely. She came on board, and that person who I could trust, who I've grown to believe in, is now somebody who I trust and believe in as a shift supervisor with young lieutenants, young officers, and in the 6 months she's been there, Roberta, she is developing those officers. Everything that I thought I saw, she is now bringing to fruition. And as a testament to her as a person, I kind of pat myself on the back for the selection.
I'm sure.
I think we were a great fit. I think he's kind of what I needed as far as to kind of motivate myself or to find myself, to take a chance to step out and see different things, because I'd always been at one facility my whole career. So I think by us meeting, it gave me the opportunity to kind of expand my horizons, and I think he was a huge part in that. I think he was a great motivator for that.